Hello, YouTube. Welcome back. Wanted to make another video. I was not making videos the last 2 days. I was traveling, but wanted to just make a quick video. It's been on my heart, and it's not going to be long today. At least I don't plan on it being long. But wanted to talk about just continuing with politics in a good way, not in a combative way, but just a truth-seeking way. So. I named this video Real Hatred. And I was reminded of a story today when I was talking on the phone. I was reminded of just kind of the last 12, 13 years of my life and being introduced to politics. After college, rather after high school, I went to a university in Minnesota, and that's where I was introduced to politics. And that's also where I was introduced to, I could say, quote unquote, real hatred, or just a strong dislike for a stance in our political view. In high school, I didn't even really care about government, mayors or governors or presidents. It didn't really matter to me. But as I went to college, I quickly, as an 18, 19-year-old, quickly found out that there was a system in place, and there was an agenda in place, especially in a college in America, Minnesota, of course, being a very liberal state. I quickly found out I was outnumbered for sure by a long shot. Although I, again, wasn't political in high school, I had values as a Christian, pro-life, pro-family, and pro God for sure. So I quickly found out as I was researching that I was absolutely conservative. Absolutely, that's associated most likely with the Republican Party. And so I found out quickly that the Republican Party, a conservative, is not welcomed in a lot of groups on college campuses. And I imagine, as I've just seen videos over the years, I imagine it's probably about the same, if not worse. So that's really where I found out just true hatred or anger towards someone, not even knowing that person, but simply if they were, voting for McCain in 2008, or just any person that you're voting for on the right side, whether it's Trump today. There's just absolutely a disgust and anger from the other side, from the left, from the progressives, whatever you want to call them, from the Democrats, of just anger. And that was a shock. And so the last 13 years, I've tried to stay out of politics, but at the same time, as an American citizen, we are called to do our part in voting. And so a lot of people think, well, Christians shouldn't get involved with that. They should vote, but keep it away from church, keep it away from Christian groups. But that's absolutely wrong. We need to definitely uphold these political positions, these people, women, men. We need to uphold them in prayer, especially the ones we voted in. It's not just about voting and being very prideful. I voted for this person and then just forget about it. We need to uphold them in prayer. And so that's what I've been doing the last few days with just usually one or two people. We're just doing a small prayer, and I welcome you guys to join. I'll leave the link in the description below. We're doing it every day at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. You're more than welcome to join. We're just doing a 10, 15-minute call, a 10 or 15-minute prayer. And so I welcome you to that. Every day we're doing that. But the last thing I want to say is going back to this hatred. You can see that it's spawned over the last 13 years, since 12 years, since 2008. It is, I believe, a Democrat back then was somewhat, validated with their reasons, but today it is spawned into anarchy, I guess you could say, with these other movements coming out of the Democratic Party, or whatever you want to call it, just out of anger towards America. I mean, Antifa, all these BLM, they're not. And I shouldn't tie them just to the Democratic Party, but many people are associated. If you ask them what side are they for, they're not going to say Republican. They're not going to say for Trump. And so I need to be bold right now and say, I believe if you're a Christian, we need to vote for Trump. I know that sounds crazy that I said that, but we have to. We have to stand up. You have to keep in mind, you're not voting for a man. You're voting for an administration. You're voting for an agenda. You cannot. I know a lot of people, a lot of Christians, or just a lot of non-believers even say, I can't vote for Trump though. He's rude. He's vulgar. All this stuff. But you're not voting for a man. That's the difference between the Republican and the Democratic Party. The Democrats are always voting for people based off of their race, their sex, okay? They're always voting for that. In '08, it was a historical moment because we had Barack Obama, the first African-American president. But see, in definition, that's racist right there, voting for someone because there's never been a black man as a president in America. That in itself is racism. And so it's just, everything is flipped upside down with the Democratic Party. I vote for people based off of their agenda, based off their track record, based off what they're going to do, not who they are, what color hair they have, et cetera, et cetera. Those are all things that do not matter at all, especially in the highest position in this country. We don't vote for people that way. We don't vote that way. That's silliness. And so, yes, you're not voting for, even if you pick Biden, you're not voting for him. You're voting for the ideas. You're voting for the administration, the people behind the closed doors that are going to be making decisions for this country. It's not just the person. And so I just highly just pray for you guys to really consider this, that it's not just about the man. Because when you ask someone on the street randomly, you say, who are you voting for? They talk about, the personality of that candidate, but that's not what we're voting for. Now, it's good to have a strong personality, someone who's good at negotiating, which I think Trump is. So it's not all personality, but we can't look at just the person. They're not going to be your best friend. If you vote for Trump, he's not going to be your best friend. If you vote for Biden, he's not going to be your best friend. You're not going to be hanging out playing golf with these guys. Okay. There's a distance between you and them, but you're voting for the policies that go on after those people are gone. So once they're done in 4 years, what are you reaping from? You're reaping the laws that have been instilled and put in this country then, or the regulations, et cetera, et cetera. It's not the person now that's gone. Those laws are still working. And so that's why there's a lot of stuff that, it seems like it's bad right now because Trump, but there's stuff that's been sown from, Bush and down on Obama, all these people, Clinton. So it's more important to vote for the cabinet, the people in there, than the person alone. Another reason, Trump is pro-life. And if you're a Christian, the womb is the most sacred place on this earth. We can't be voting for people for the God of choice. We don't really worship stone and wood carved images like the Bible talks about today, not at least in America. But we do serve the God of convenience. Many people are bowing down their knee to the God of convenience. And if you're a Christian, yes, we believe in the family, the marriage, and we believe in children, but to have abortion be legalized, where these clinics where if you had sex with someone and you just don't feel like having the baby, go have it aborted. And I know there are some certain very unique cases that people always want to talk about, but for the majority, it is the God of convenience, and we cannot stand for that. If you're going to have sex, you need to be in a covenant relationship with your wife, with your husband. And that is fruit that you're bringing into this earth. Not just you wanted to have a fun weekend, you wanted to live for pleasure. That's wrong. So we cannot have this, I want to do whatever I want with my body. Well, you can do whatever you want, but in a relationship, but you don't have a choice to kill a baby. Would you kill a 2-year-old because he or she is acting crazy, the terrible twos they call it? Would you do that? Well, why do you think you can kill a baby in the womb then? It's absurd. Or why would we, talking about animals today, you can just see that people are so touchy-feely about animals. We got to protect and save all the animals on the earth, but the baby in the womb, no, that's not a big deal at all. Don't worry about that. And so I know you think I'm beating this to death, but I'm just putting out, I hope, common knowledge. I hope this is just very common sense, normal things that we should be thinking. So again, if you're voting this November, and also I'm feeling, don't say I didn't vote. I've had a lot of people the last few years, I just didn't vote. I couldn't do it. You've got to vote. If you don't vote for the right candidate, you're automatically giving the other side 2 votes, basically. So you've got to vote. You've got to vote. And don't be afraid to stand up and say, I voted for Trump. We need someone in office who's going to keep this country going. And I am not putting man above God. I am not putting man as my source. I'm praying for this administration. I'm praying for this country. I'm praying for this world. But we've got to pick the right person, and it can't be based off of if he's my best friend or not. Okay, these guys they're so insulated from us. At the same time, we've got to vote for the administration. We've got to vote for the person who is going to keep putting this country first. A country is defined by borders. Okay, one candidate doesn't really care about the borders. The other, Trump, does. And we've got to put this country. Think about this analogy. Think about this. If you're on a boat and the boat is about to sink, you're not trying to take in more water or more supplies or more people. No, you're trying to protect. You're trying to keep afloat. And one candidate wants to bring in more people to this country, and for the wrong reason, though. And hear me on that. It's not that I don't want other people. I have foreign friends, and they come to this country. I know several of them who they've went through the whole process, and they've legally come here. That's fine. That's great. I want that. I know that other parts of the world are way worse than America, and that's why people are still coming here. I fully understand that. And that's good that they go through a legal method. Great. But the thing is, we're having many people that are coming in illegally, and that is in turn will hurt the economy, hurt the people here that have lived here their life. They've been born here. And again, it's a difficult topic to talk about, but we have to have, there is rules in a country. And this is for the protection. And so we've got to understand that there are certain candidates that are trying to hinder. And the funny thing is, it doesn't come from outside. It doesn't come from other countries that a country like America will go down. It comes from the inside. It comes from the evil that has been sown into this country, the people that are in Congress, the Senate, even in the White House that are negatively influencing this country. And I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about people and their reporters and other people that are totally misspeaking the truth about him. So, at the end of this, I just want to say, I just pray that you ask the Holy Spirit. I think it's very clear. You don't have to vote for someone because you want to be their best friend. You've got to vote for them based off of their track record, what they've done, who they are. And yes, everyone has a past. I know people can say, well, Trump talked this way. Guess what? I have a past. You have a past. We all do. So I'm not saying that people don't change, but we can't judge and vote for someone based off of what the media has pulled out of the past of someone to try to tarnish their reputation. And I ask the Holy Spirit. He'll tell you again, in God's kingdom, things are not affected, whether Trump or Biden wins. I don't believe God, it's not going to affect God's kingdom. I'll tell you that. I understand that. At the same time, though, we need to vote to uphold freedoms here so that we can publicly go and worship our God. And that's for, if it's not for any other reason, that's why we must vote for Trump as a Christian, because we've got to have the ability to have public worship, be able to go to our places of worship on Sundays or whatever day of the week you go. And I hope that this message finds you well. But real hatred is not coming from the right side. It's not coming from conservatives or Republicans. If you ever see someone lashing out on the right side, it's because they're lashing out at the evil that's happening on the left side. At the same time, I believe that us as Christians, conservatives, Republicans, maybe you're not even a Christian, you're just a conservative. We've got to be calm in this season, though. We've got to just be calm when we talk with these people. Don't try to argue with them. Just speak the truth, speak it in love, and pray that those ideas sink in. And, if you're on here and you're a Democrat, you're a liberal, you can also, you don't have to be so prideful. You can turn back and you can vote for Trump this year. You can be a Democrat and vote for a Republican. That's okay. So I just encourage you, just ask the Lord, ask God, and say, get quiet and say, who should I vote for? There's a lot of noise out there today. Who am I supposed to vote for? I believe it's a clear choice. And at the end of the day, it's up to you who you vote for. But I absolutely think that if we get together and unite as Christians, we can change this election. And that's what happened in 2016. Many evangelical Christians came out to the polls, and it changed the last 4 years. The last 4 years have been good, in my opinion. Now, last thing that's coming in here, this coronavirus, it's a real virus. Sure, there's a flu season every year, but this has been very conveniently placed in 2020 because it's an election year. And so I want you to understand that there's a lot of ads now today saying, oh, Biden would have handled this much better than Trump. This is just a last-ditch effort to take Trump out. Don't buy it for a second, okay? There is a coronavirus. I'm not denying that. But is it really worse than a flu? Or, I mean, I've been in South Korea. I've been in many states. I was in Florida. I was at the beach. I don't buy it. Guys, I don't buy it. I don't buy the mask. So don't let this last ditch effort, this last controversy from the Democratic side, don't let this steal you. Don't let this take you away and say, I'm going to vote for Biden. He might have did it better. You can't guess that. How would he have done it better? So don't let that stop you. Look at the stock market. Look at the good things. This country has been thriving. And again, I am not serving in an economy, a world system, but I want to live in a prosperous, righteous land. And I know that whatever happens, my God will supply wherever I'm called to in this earth. But guys, we've got to vote for Trump. It's 100%. We've got to vote for it. Send this message out to your friends. Talk about this with your church leaders. Talk about this in congregations of Christians. Talk about this in the public marketplace where you work. Guys, it's simple. The enemy is trying to throw a lot of noise to get you to think for a second, maybe Trump isn't the best. No man's perfect. No man is perfect. If we look in the Bible, we can see David, we can see Moses, we can see these men that were used by God. Solomon, all of them had problems. None of them was perfect. Okay. So do not vote for someone because, well, I think that they're the better of the two. You vote for the moral ideas. You vote for the things that are going to affect the majority of this country. Okay. All right, guys. God bless you. Join us tomorrow. I will be out of town tomorrow again, but I might not have service. I'm going to drive somewhere to get service. 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're going to do a prayer call. We're just getting together. We're just humbling ourselves before the Lord and we're praying. Join us. Come on, and we can talk together. We need to unite. We've got 2 months, and we need to get together as Christians more often. Doesn't matter what's going on, pandemic, fear-demic, whatever. Come and join the call. I'm going to leave the description, the link below. It's called JITSI, meet.jit.si, and the name is Prayer Meeting 2020. Join us tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. God bless you guys. Go be prosperous.